Anyways, so the rabbi, it was kind of weird. Like, in the last couple of weeks that we had been going, he started getting into more money involved things. Like, he started actually distributing a product in the church and through the church, almost using the church to do it. And it was kind of funny because it's just one of those weird things. But it's like it really kind of pulled us away from everything that he was about, and it was really hard to trust him in some ways. So my dad, he actually just decided to stay home one day. He was like, you know what, I don't feel like going so much, so I'm just gonna chill at home. And so he was at home, and we all went to church, and I play guitar in the what do you call it, the worship team, right? And it was just really, really small congregation. It was maybe 100 people. There was like no youth at all. I was like the youngest person there, like, period, except for the little kids, because people would bring their little kids. Yeah, the worship team. It was pretty cool. I'd play all it's not like a rock band, but I played like lead guitar, and I would do all these like solos and stuff. I would just feel it out, and I don't know. It was a really fun thing for me to be doing, But I don't know. I really enjoyed that part of going to church, and I enjoyed some of the message because we learned quite a bit about how the Jews do things and how. Oh, I'm 17 years old. Yeah, so I'm still in school, and I'm gonna graduate this year in June, so I'm really excited about that. That's gonna be really cool. But this was just recently that all this stuff kind of started happening with the money and everything like that. And so, it really wasn't like so bad. It wasn't like a nightmare, but it was like just one of those really subtle things. It's like, this is kind of conspicuous. This might not be right. It's just one of those things that you gotta kind of keep your eyes open about. And so the rabbi one day, he was talking about, oh, whoa, congratulations. That is so cool. Awesome. Just yesterday. Awesomeness. That is great to hear. Allahu Akbar. God is the greatest. Alright, anyways, as I was saying, so basically, he was preaching a message. I can't remember exactly what it was about, but it had to do with preparation of some kind, and other things too. I can't really remember what the whole message was about, but I know he was talking about the month of not Ramadan, but he was talking about Ramadan, but he was talking about the Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish month, which this year they happen to fall on the same month. And I'm not absolutely certain if they actually fell on the same month. I don't know how they fell on the same month or anything like that. I don't know if they always do or don't or anything like that. But I do know that this month it just so happened that they were both on the same month. And this past Ramadan and Rosh Hashanah. And so it's a big Jewish holiday. It's a big deal. And it's supposed to, it reminds the Messianic Jews about, like the crucifixion of Jesus, right? Yom Kippur, they celebrate the Day of Atonement. And also, they just have a lot of other little rituals and things like that are just ancient tradition, and they celebrate them there at the church, and they acknowledge them, which is different from most churches, obviously. Like today the Christian churches are doing like Passover and stuff like that, or not Passover, but they're doing the Last Supper instead of Passover. They're rearranging everything, and I don't know, but it was actually authentic the way we had the actual Passover, like the Jews used to do it and everything. I don't know how the Jews are doing today, but I do know that we did a lot of those different holidays and stuff. And so when he was talking about Rosh Hashanah, he mentioned Ramadan, and he was talking about there was like a mosque like across the street, just right down the way, and he was talking about it. And he doesn't seem like the type of person that is just going to be like, not liking people. He was speaking respectfully about Muslims, but then he was talking about like basically what we should be praying for them, and how we should pray that they have a revelation. And he was talking about how Gabriel he was kind of referring to Gabriel as angel of darkness in disguise as an angel of light, and he was going on that realm, and I'm just sitting there like, this doesn't make sense, because I've actually, I've heard of Islam, and I've heard of, the Quran and stuff, and I just couldn't imagine it being like that. I was like, this does not, in my mind, it doesn't fit at all. It doesn't. And so my dad, he was at home during this time, and so he was sitting there, and he was thinking this exact same thing. He was like, this is really strange. This is like not normal, this is something that doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right at all. And so he went online and he started looking up about the Quran, and he found a document that he was able to read. It was all English. Oh, it's really cold in my room. Ooh, it's freezing. But basically, he was reading, and he read like 4 surahs. He read like the first 4 surahs. Like, well, he didn't read all 4, but he read like the first 3 all the way, and then he got like halfway through the woman. That's how it translates. I don't remember what it is in Arabic, but he got pretty far. He read quite a bit, and he was telling me all about it whenever I got back from church. We got back at like 2, and he was just telling me everything, just all of it, and he was just like unloading, and I was like, whoa, I mean, this is crazy, because he like had a revelation while he was sitting there, reading it, and like, because we realized how much we've been told, like, all these different things about Muslims and about Islam and about all these things and about, how wrong they are and how corrupt this is and that is. We've been told all these things our whole lives, but the real truth, it was like always there. It didn't wear. And it's just people just making up all these things about it that really just pulls so many away, and they're unable to see it for what it is. And it's frustrating, and it's frustrating overcoming that, because there's all these things inside, growing up in this way and growing up in this world, there's so many things that just, they influence you, and you don't really realize it until you start studying something and it doesn't make sense or something like that, because of the barrier that you have. And the first few days was like a struggle, but I realized, like the next couple, like it was Ramadan, like the next day, because it was Saturday that we went to church, and the next Sunday, the first day of Ramadan, and so I was like, they fast during Ramadan, right? And so I just decided that I would fast. So I fasted during the day, and I ate when the sun went down at like around 8:30ish, 9, I would eat, and some days I would come home, and I just rest all day until it was dark, and I would read the Quran and stuff. I'd flip through it, and I'd just read as much as I could, and then it'd be time to eat or whatever. And I'd go in, and I'd sometimes just pile up a big old plate of food, and I wouldn't really, like, I wouldn't be able to eat very much, but I would think that I'm so hungry, but my stomach is, like, not even that big anymore from, I don't know, it was weird, but I remember, like, those, like, I was only able to fast for about 10 or 12 days, because after that, I started to get really sick. It wasn't because I was fasting. I think I got the flu. Because I took the flu medicine, and all of a sudden I started feeling better. So that probably is a good indication that I had the flu. But I was pretty bad. Like the first few days I got sick, I was like really shaking violently, and I was very, very, very cold for like 3 days straight, and I had to stay in bed. And I tried going to school, but that didn't work. And I wanted to continue the fast really bad, because I was really enjoying it. It was a whole new experience for me. It was so much different, because I've never fasted before, ever, for any reason, period. And so it was like, I don't know, it was really special. It was such a special thing. It was like there was a relationship that I was building between, me and Allah. It was like, I don't know, it was beautiful. I loved it. It was like some of the best days I ever had was when I was fasting. And I just felt like so much better, so much lighter, and just not like I was bogged down with stuff. And last year, I haven't, well, technically, I hadn't accepted Islam, technically. So it was like, in parentheses, technicality. Because I had believed that the Quran is true, and I had understood that, they have holy month, and I did it out of respect. I didn't even really do it for the same reason that, most Muslims would do it. I did it just out of respect, and just, that I felt that's what I needed to do. And I felt right about it, and it felt right during the entire fast. It it was such a good experience for me. It really opened me up a lot, and it's a good introduction to coming in and reading the Quran and things like that, to build that relationship like that. Is it good now? I don't know if the mic, I don't know what happened, yeah. I guess maybe the internet kind of spazzed out. Sometimes Paltalk will reboot itself. I'll just be sitting here and it'll restart itself, and it'll disconnect you from the mic and everything. It sucks, but it's okay. It's all good now. Okay, so anyways, where was I? Okay, I was talking about, get after the fast and everything like that. And after I got sick, it really, like, my mom, she kind of had a whole different perspective of what I was doing, and she thought I got sick because of what I was doing. Oh, you're trying to joke and you say you never heard anything? Oh, you're so funny. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, well, my mom, she kind of just had an uneasy feeling about it after I had gotten sick. And because I was really sick, like, I was so pale and everything. And she was kind of disturbed by it. And she honestly thought it was because I was studying the Quran and everything like that. And so I don't know why she would think that. My dad, he was like, no, I mean, everybody's getting the flu. What the heck? Why would you even think that? It's kind of just rude to think it. But some people, I guess, I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know. But I love my mom, so I can't say anything bad about her at all whatsoever. And so it was kind of it makes it harder to understand, like, and I took Shahada about, I would say, a couple weeks ago, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and I was already in a deep state, understanding the Quran and understanding the truth that Muhammad obviously is the final prophet, because the Quran is true. When you read it, you know this. Any true believer in God, Christ, anything whatsoever, if they truly believe in God, period, the Quran is going to be irrefutable to them. That I know that for a fact. These words are the most true that I've ever read before. And it's just, I'm thankful that we came on to it, because it's helped me so much in the past couple of days, in the past month. I mean, it's been so much easier for me to understand, like, schoolwork. I'm so much more focused. Like, last year, I was doing really, really bad in all my classes, and I had promised, like, oh, yeah, I'll do better and this and that, right? But I never really showed that I could do the work. I never really put the effort into it. I just kind of didn't care. I just kind of put it off. And then I came to Islam just, like, basically understanding that the Quran is true just like a day before school started, pretty much. But right after that, everything was so much clearer. And my mind was clear, and I had a heart that was motivated to do the schoolwork, and I felt that I was, like, I don't know, I was actually doing something good and not wasting my time, and it was just redundant schoolwork that I failed most of my classes. So I've done it all last year, but it doesn't feel, it's not a struggle for me anymore. And same with so many other things in life too. Just about everything. It's a lot easier for me to live. And, I attribute it to what I read from the Quran and how the oneness of God is so profound. It's more than what I thought it was before. So much more. And it's just really, really awesome. And I'm really glad. And then I came onto the room, just a few weeks after I'd started reading the Quran, because my mom, she was talking to me about Paltalk and stuff. She does all kinds of stuff on Paltalk. And so I was like, oh, I'll get an account and everything and just kind of chill with it and see what I can do. And then I was looking around, I wanted to learn more about Islam and stuff. So I found a good Islamic room. Well, not necessarily Islamic, but it was answering Christianity. And so it was like, hey, I just kind of, came from a Christian perspective, and so this might be good. And so I was talking to Musa. I don't know if any of you know who that is, but he's just really awesome. And he was talking to me about that basically I was already Muslim, and I was like, all right. And I kind of looked into it a little bit more, and the word Muslim actually means one who submits, and I mean, that, like, how was I different from that, you know? And so I took the Shahada, and in very, very poor Arabic, it's hard for me to pronounce some words in Arabic. Even still, I started learning Arabic about, like, just less than a week ago, it seems like, and I basically started memorizing how to pronounce each letter in the original Arabic. And I'm struggling with some letters like Sad and Dad, those, because I don't know if it's like, I know it's because the way I hear it is different than what it looks like to me. It's really weird. But just a few of the letters I get confused with and stuff, but I'm getting more and more, and I'm studying more and more, and it's becoming easier. But whenever I look at because I have a Quran that's Arabic and English, it's not like a well-known translation, but it's pretty good. I've really enjoyed reading it. But there's like, I don't know if any of you read it with the vowels at all, but whenever I look at it and I see the vowels, I see the vowel at the end of the word, and I don't hear it pronounced usually. Sometimes I do, but it depends, and sometimes I don't. Like, it would be like the Bismillahir-Rahman-Ir-Rahim. When I look at it, literally, it's like Bismillah al-Rahmani, and then it's like al-Rahimi, like that. But when you hear it, it's like Bismillah al-Rahman al-Rahim. And those were the very first words that I learned, because they're the very first words in the Quran, so it just kind of made sense. And I'm going through this, the opening, Al-Fatihah, which I hear it's like a very important prayer, very significant prayer. And so it's really, I pray at least once a day, and I do the washing and everything, and I'm not very, I don't know the Arabic prayers very good, but sometimes what I'll do is I'll set the time, and I'll say that I have this much time to learn, like, or at least just recite it, read it from how I see it. Some of the prayers, I'll just read it from the English letters, because it's a lot easier, and just so I can get more in the habit, just more understanding it. And it's really, it's pretty cool, actually. I'm enjoying it, and it's kind of cool at first. It's not hard for me to pray at all. It's just hard for me to read the Arabic and recite the Arabic. The best recitation that I could do is the stuff that I've learned from the actual Arabic. That's why I really like going to the original Arabic letters, because my mind, it just sticks so much better. It's weird, but it's like in English, you can never really capture exactly how to pronounce it. There's always something missing from it. Whenever you type, like Bismillah, when you type it in English, there's something missing there. But when you go to the original Arabic, it's exactly what it's supposed to look like. So when you say it, it's I don't know, it just feels like it's coming from the right place, and you're not just saying some word that it's more from the heart in a way. And that's how I look at it. So that's why I started learning Arabic and everything. And I don't know, it's been a really good experience and everything like that. And it's really nice to share my story. I appreciate everybody listening to it. It was actually kind of entertaining. It's kind of late over here. It's almost midnight, actually. It's about 30 minutes, so I should start preparing for bed at least. And so thank you very much, everybody. And peace be with you. Assalamu alaikum.
Who's got the recording?